Hello, everyone. It's great to see you. I already started on the wrong screen, so this podcast is absolutely killing it. Everything's fine. Relax, it'll be okay. But no, guys, I'm glad you're here, and I keep messing it up, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Just wait, just wait, wait.
Good thing there was nothing like on your screen that wasn't supposed to be shown.
We're
So
here. True. I mean, that is a little bit of a precursor to what we're going to talk about today, but it is already on the topics list. So nothing spoiled. Everything's okay. No NDAs broken because as hosts of the Scope FPS podcast, we're constantly on big time embargoed NDAs. We're behind the scenes in the industry, insider info all the
so
time.
much we would love to say to break the leaks, but we can't. So
It's true. All the AAA developers are trying to get at us to get us to talk about their games and stuff. So I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So that was close. Could have leaked some really big time stuff. But as you notice, you guys are smart. You guys can count. There's only two of us here. Buff is running a little late. He will be joining us. So when he gets here, we'll plumb him into the feed, bring him into the studio, and get going. But I'm Crash, joined by my co-host BlueTheRobot. What's up?
I am blue. I mean, I'm not
Actually,
like sad blue, but I'm blue. Oh, I got my new safe. It's
right,
not like
true.
up and running yet though. It's a little
And it's
tiny
blue.
3-gun. So I got that. I gotta set it up. I gotta anchor it to the wall and stuff like that next.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah. It's kind of blue
yeah.
with the light going on back there. I like it.
It's a little blue. It's a little
I
blue. I'll
get it.
set up. I'll put lights inside it.
Buff's actually probably just playing Arena Breakout Infinite and doesn't want to hang with us. I
No, we
should
know it's Fortnite this entire time.
I should look on there. Oh, it is. Oh, dude, I don't know if I can make fun of Buff for playing Fortnite anymore, even though he doesn't, because
I
I did
knew I
it.
don't have to talk about it. I need to hear what your
I did it,
thoughts.
man. I tried Fortnite. Please send your emails to the Scope complaint
Guys, don't be
departments
mad.
at
Yeah, don't be
gmail.com.
mad.
That's not a real email address. I'm going to start telling people to send all their show complaints to this non-existent email, and then we don't have to answer
Someone's
them.
gonna have that email.
That would be awesome. That would be amazing. So if you guys don't know, if you have watched the show for any or watched or listened to the show for any amount of time, you know I'm always about S&D modes, bomb modes. It's one of my favorite things. And Fortnite added one. And Blackout in chat was always constantly trying to get me to play it. Finally, one night after some drinks, I was convinced to install Fortnite, and it was also kind of
For some drinks.
after some drinks with the caveat. And
Oh
no,
jeez.
it's no build first person. It feels very much like Valorant CS:GO. I mean, aesthetics wise, more in the Valorant range, but
Yeah.
man, if we were in the drought that we were in, like before Arena Breakout, before Gray Zone, and before
Damn. You'd
Delta
be playing
Force,
the hell out
I'd
of
probably
that,
play it, man.
man.
I'd probably play it.
I'd probably be in the same boat if probably. I don't know because I saw a lot of people having fun with it.
um, yeah, it's fun. Riot's been playing it on his stream. And I might put some time into it. There's a ranked mode in there. I played my first match and I seriously think that I was playing against people on like Nintendo Switch or something.
Oh,
Um
that's the thing. Yeah, you got crossplay as
Mobile and
well.
stuff. I went like 19-2 or 19-3 or something my first match.
Jeez.
I didn't even know the maps
Those
yet. I'm
poor
just
Switch players, those poor kids that got the Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and their first game was Fortnite.
and I just deleted them. And we still lost. That's true. Martonic, it's cool to see you in chat, man. If you guys are in search of another awesome content creator, you should check out Martonic's channel.
Hell yeah.
Good dude from Australia, mate. I hope that's not racist, but
It
he's
is
awesome.
now.
He's awesome. So check him out. Yeah, cancel me, whatever. Again, send your complaints to the Scope Podcast Complaint Department at gmail.com. They all get read over there. We go through all the complaints on that email account. So go ahead and check it out. Fine. Send plenty of emails.
Mm-hmm.
We should hire an intern to be a complaint department. How
Oh,
is
it needs to be someone with like tough skin and just like yells insults back at the people.
So me,
Just clone
I'm
yourself
just.
then.
Do I not insult people enough? Maybe I should be a little more. I need to be
I mean, if
edgier.
people tuned in to back in when voice chat was the thing in Call of Duty before they took it out
After some drinks again, quote unquote.
after some drinks.
It got crazy.
Oh, jeez.
Did it? So how's Florida, man? Did you get any of this cold stuff, or are you okay?
Not yet. That's gonna be so. It's like moving. I saw it was moving from like the west to the east. And we won't get it towards sometime next week. Actually, and looking at I got flashbanged. Looking at said forecast, let's see. It's gonna drop to 36 tonight, which is woohoo cold.
36
But
in Florida,
it's
baby.
36. I mean, 36 in Florida is kind of crazy.
It'd be
But
awesome.
I mean, other than that, like it doesn't really get that much colder. I think the coldest we'll see is like 34 at most, or at least, I guess you could say. So, and
Do
that's
we
at night.
do we have any other Midwesterners in the audience? Because hope you guys are staying warm, man.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
had
I
a
know.
wild blizzard, dude. I don't know how I didn't lose power. I don't know. It was actually an answered prayer because I was worried about like the kids' room getting cold if we like lost power while I was sleeping. Because we got a bunch of ice. We had thunder snow, so it was snowing and blowing and like lightning and thunder. And then
Holy crap!
today we had a high of 18 degrees, and tonight it's supposed to be 0. So for those of you not in a free country, that is like minus 17 or 18. So yeah, we're supposed to be 0 degrees tonight. So it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
super
it's gonna
cold.
be it's gonna be like really cold though. I know we're not a weather channel, but like North Tennessee, like I would say like north. It's like towards the coast, towards the East Coast as well too, like that area. So good luck. Be safe.
Yeah, stay warm. I had to go out and put the horses in the barn. We didn't know it was going to be so crazy. So we put the horses into the barn. I had to drag water across because I wasn't ready to get the I wasn't ready, so all our hoses were frozen and stuff. So while I was doing that, I looked up and the power lines that go from the ditch to my house, those little short little run of power lines were just like bouncing like 4 or 5 feet just in the wind. And I'm like, there's no way these power lines are gonna stay in. And they hung in there, man.
Survive.
Shout
Hell
out,
yeah.
shout out the power lines. So yeah, it was actually insane. But to get back to shooter stuff, the Fortnite mode, it's only got one map. So like that's the bummer, and it's a test mode. I would love to know if they're going to add more stuff to it because it
It'd
really
be cool to see like levels made by users as well too, added to like
yeah,
rotations
because they got
as
the
well.
Unreal Workshop or whatever where you can build anything.
Dude, I
And
mean, someone that's when I first saw the showcase, and it was like it was a Fortnite weapon, but it was in a realistic hallway that they made.
yeah, and I had always said that whenever that Unreal editor for Fortnite, that's what it is, right? UEFN. When that came out, I said I would love to be able to know how to do this or know somebody that can do it to build an S&D mode in Fortnite, but make the graphics like more adult. I guess we're like more up our
Yeah, it's
alley
gonna be a
for
little
better term.
cartoony still, but yeah, kind of like a
Yeah,
mature version.
like a chiller, we'll go, like chill out on the aesthetics a little bit for a more mature
Yeah.
audience. And have an S&D mode would be really cool. And then they did it, and I can't confirm like if you're just playing it for the gameplay is really good. It's got the purchase stuff. And speaking of Fortnite, Buff is
The
here.
Fortnite King is here.
Let me get him plumbed in, guys. Just a quick second. I can do it really fast because our production team is awesome. Again, if you don't like the delays, please send all your complaints to the Scope Podcast Complaint Department at gmail.com, where all your emails get read and totally not sent to the spam folder. All right. Buff is here. What's up, man? How are you doing?
Great intro there with the Fortnite. We planned that perfectly.
You want to know the funniest part? I'm actually talking about Fortnite because I played it.
Of him playing the first person S&D mode.
There's an S&D mode in Fortnite, Buff.
Oh wow. Well, I guess that's where you're gonna be.
But you knew
forever,
that because you were playing between your times of
He
ABI, which
everyone knows. The people who know that I am closet. I have another channel that's got like 600,000 subscribers. It's Fortnite, and I disguise my voice and everything. It's
voice changer and everything.
Yeah, you guys would you'd never guess.
You'll never guess. I guess.
Man, what's up, Buff?
How's it going,
dude?
Sorry, I'm a little late. I had some errands that came up, so try to get back. But traffic.
All good. We're just talking about the crazy weather, and then I was getting the Fortnite talk out of the way. Big Fortnite guy. Yeah. No, I was just surprised on how well it played. It feels kind of like a Valorant, but they have the CS:GO where you buy in between. And
okay.
So like everybody starts with nothing, and then it's like CS:GO where you like earn currency for kills and stuff like that, and you can buy in between. And cool. Like everything about it is awesome except for the cartoony shit. But honestly, for a little bit, as crazy as COD is getting, I couldn't tell the difference between playing that and Search. So it honestly felt pretty damn similar.
Wrong. You're not wrong.
It honestly felt better than Search. But there's like movement penalties and stuff. So it was really, I don't know. It's pretty impressive how it plays.
Just change the skin on it and you got Buff's perfect game.
Yeah, that's right.
At least that's what we used to say, but now he's more of the extraction shooter guy. So it's kind of like he's getting torn between like a new love and his old love.
It's funny. It's funny because I started with, obviously my channel started with Modern Warfare 2019, but before Warzone even came out, it was December 2019. There was like a Christmas sale for Tarkov, and that's when I finally bought it and started playing, and I was hooked immediately. That was before Warzone even came out. So like that extraction shooter that Tarkov offered just had me hooked. And then I took everything I learned from playing Tarkov, like how to take gunfights, stuff like that, into Warzone. It helped my channel even more. But I've always preferred extraction shooters, yeah, for sure.
But if you could take what Fortnite, it's called Ballistic.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 30,000 people playing it too, and it's been out for a while, and it's only a single map, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy. Right
in the launcher, you can see like how many people are playing it. If you took that game honestly and made it like a tactical looking game, switch the graphics and aesthetic around to like a grounded military shooter, that would be fucking awesome. Yeah, it would be really good because there wasn't that much. There wasn't any fluff. Everybody can buy the same guns, so you can buy what guns you want. And then instead of like drafting specialist, you draft a grenade. So there's like a recon nade, smoke nades, frag grenades. And so you get to pick a grenade is just your ability. So that's it. It's not anything like crazy or super stuff that you have to learn. It's actually just a grenade is like the only kind of ability or whatever. So it's really simple, and it really is simple, and it's just straight up, 5v5 tactical shooter. Pretty cool.
Damn. Kind of selling me
surprising. It's my biggest surprise. It's my biggest surprise game of 2025 so far.
2025 so far. Yeah.
We are 6 days in, and this one caught me off guard, boys.
Kind of low, but it's definitely there. It's there.
Yeah, it hasn't been too long. But yeah, no, that'd be the dream one day to make my own game, and it would play similar to that, at least in my head.
2025 starting out strong.
Yeah, man, we're doing well. So today we got lots of cool stuff to talk about, and given the year 2025, that means hopefully a new Battlefield. So somebody was asking in chat about if we had any like super juicy new details. Full transparency here, we do not. We're gonna react to some of the Game Rant articles. Blue pulled one up, and then I found another one that's kind of controversial that we're gonna talk about that is hilarious. And we'll just kind of talk about Battlefield a little bit and kind of where the sentiment is around the industry on that. So nothing crazy. If that makes you mad, send your complaints to the Scope Complaint Department at gmail.com, and they all get read thoroughly. And yeah, it's great.
We respond to everybody too.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
within like
in-game
24 hours, you'll get a response.
in GTA.
3D7 business days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're gonna hit that a little bit. I think that's a good topic for early 2025. Then Arena Breakout Infinite's got some impending patches coming out like really soon. Some other patch notes. And then they released a roadmap, and we'll get into that. I have a lot to say about that. I'm sure Buff does as well. The Delta Force leaks, man. That's going to be another awesome topic you're going to want to stick around for. Wow, the leaks and the gameplay coming out of that are controversial to say the least on what they're adding to Delta Force, man. We'll get into it. We're going to get really into it. That's going to be awesome. And then Blue's going to help fill us in on what's up with Arma Reforger because it's taken off much more than at least I anticipated lately. Especially with the addition of PS5 and the console folks getting in there and mixing it up. So,
dude, when you got Frankie on PC in 1080p making Arma Reforger videos, then you know.
Oh, is he? I didn't even
Then
see
you
that.
know. He
That's
just
awesome.
Really?
yeah. We'll talk. Yeah, dude. We'll talk about that for sure.
All right, dude. Man, we got an awesome show today. Awesome show today. Before we get into the topics really quickly, if you guys do want to help us out, there are plenty of free ways to do that. Times are tough and money's hard to come by, and there's a lot of free ways that you can help us out by hitting the like button, sharing the show, sharing the audio version, and if you get a chance, leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify helps us a lot push the audio version of the show around, which is available in the description down below. So, with that being said, let's get into Arena Breakout Infinite. It has been the game of choice for Buff and I. We had some good raids last night. Running around on the armory. So we have a patch that's coming out tonight. For those of you who are Arena Breakout players, we are mere hours. I think if my math is correctly done, we are like 7 hours from the thermal nerf at the time of recording this. So, dude, it's going to be awesome. So, thermals, you've heard us bitch about them for weeks now. They're finally getting a nerf where you can't look down a scope when you see it. So the patch that is dropping tonight has other things going along with it, which I'm interested to see how it plays out. It's going to be an hour of downtime. On farm lockdown, they're changing extraction points. They're adding some like newer, closer extraction points. So that's going to be kind of wild, a little easier to get out of. Valley Norman lockdown is getting random extraction points, and the valley will now be guaranteed to open. So like the abandoned shack,
nice.
And the villa ones are going to always be open. So they're just adding some of those. Armory lockdown forbidden and spec up. So on Armory, the B1 canal in the final 10 seconds before the countdown ends. So it sounds like that's going to be just open in the final 10 seconds. That's hard to understand. I don't know.
Yeah,
it says B1 canal the final 10 seconds before countdown ends. Not sure.
Yeah,
if that's like the final 10 seconds of the raid, you can get out there, but there's another extract right there in that hallway. So I don't know.
Yeah, you got to pull the lever for that one though, and once it's taken, I don't think another team can tank it. I could be wrong, but I've only taken that I think in the small armory, so I haven't taken it in the large one yet. We'll have to try it.
Yep, we'll have to find out soon. Then TV station forbidden, which I am too timmy to get there yet. The extraction waiting time is adjusted, so the main entrance extraction time is now only 60 seconds. The elevator is only 90 seconds, down from 3 minutes, so you can get out a little bit quicker.
Nice.
Then the big time thermal nerf, which is awesome. They're lowering the required number of teams and players for Farm, Valley, Normal, and Lockdown TV and the Storm Warning event. So they're lowering the amount of players needed to start a raid. I don't know how I feel about that, if they're actually balancing that or if there's low player numbers. That like concerns me just a little bit.
I think with some modes like Lockdown, I mean, we see it on Armory, right? Like sometimes, depending on your team size, it will take longer to find a match. So I'm not sure what their matchmaking is like. It could just be something to do with how the matchmaking is. If you're a team of 2, I know sometimes on the maps it takes us longer to find just even like a basic match. But if you have like 3 or 4, you get in pretty quick.
Yep, agreed. And then Storm Warning event loot pool increased. So after this update, I will be trying the storm warning event. It's farm with like a super crazy like hurricane storm, so you can kind of move around a little bit without kind of people hearing you. So I'm excited for that. And with thermals being gone, I'll be able to play it and try it. So that'll be pretty cool. And then as far as the roadmap is concerned, so I made a video about the roadmap, and I really hope, I don't think it can be. I don't think it's a true roadmap. It feels like stuff that's coming sooner rather than later, because on that, one of the big things was the thermal balance nerf, and that's already coming. So when they say roadmap for 2025, I really hope this is not all inclusive, because they only talked about one map, and we know that there's two other maps beyond what's coming with this Northridge. Um, so and that are in mobile that are supposed to be coming here. So I really hope it's not just one map for the whole year or one expansion. Then later they talked about maps and expansions plural. So there might be some like Chinese translation issues, like miscommunications that we're hearing. So yeah, I'm hoping that's the case, that there's more stuff, because we really need to know about Steam release, console, and some of the monetization changes and stuff like that. So the Northridge map is going to be added. That's going to be pretty cool. It's another big map, a lot of wooded area, and then a big hotel area that's like the center of attention. So Northridge should be coming.
That looks good.
It looks really cool. The graphics look awesome. Solo
It's like
mode
every
is
time I feel like I
coming.
should get into it, it's like I need to like wait until this update comes out.
I don't know. You might as well get going. Just get going. Get in there, Blue.
Is it a wipe?
No,
No.
there's
Oh,
no
there,
wipe.
right? There's no wipe, right? Exactly. So
Yeah, no
anytime
wipes.
really.
Yep. So they're adding that. Several new game modes was also a part of this video. So solo mode, they're going to be testing with a solo mode, which I kind of have mixed feelings about. Then one of the new modes is secure ops, which I'm excited about, that not from like a total gameplay perspective, but from like being able to learn the maps. So
Right,
so in secure ops, how I understand it is you get about 40% of the loot value of whatever you loot, but if you die, you don't lose your kit, you don't lose your guns and stuff. So you'll be able to go in and like, that'll be a really cheap, reasonable way to learn TV station, because you can go in and not have to, because like right now you have to play lockdown or forbidden on TV station, and you're going to go up against tier 5 and 6 chads all the time. And if you lose your tier 5 gear, it can hurt, like if you're a new player. So you can't scav into those locations. Like in Tarkov, I would always scav into like the new maps to like try to learn reserve and whatever. But you don't have that option here. You can't scav in. So you're basically risking all your gear to learn a map. And this way will be awesome, I think, to learn maps. And then they announced an arena mode and like elimination and team deathmatch modes, but with our own unique twist. S&D mode in Arena Breakout.
Let's go. I know the mobile did have like a BR type mode, so I'm sure we'll be seeing something similar to that.
Yep, I think we could see that for sure. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I wish there was just a little more revealed here about plans, but we can talk about that at the end, I guess. Yeah, and the solo mode is going to be a test. So it's not necessarily staying, but they are going to test it and put it in the game to collect some data on. We talked about skins and monetizations. They're making skins better, like weapon skins better in the game, where they apply to all attachments, not just the ones that are part of the blueprint or whatever. They're merging features like the membership, so case keychains and all that stuff will be together. And then the loot drops are going to add they're going to add in the next update direct purchase options for the cosmetic packs. And I don't know if that means in game or if that means direct money purchase, but either way, it's better than a loot box.
Yeah, I know the one that they have in there now with that that like desert warfare bundle with the skins. Like you can't just purchase the cosmetics itself. You got to like purchase bonds, and then it's a random drawing, so you don't know what you're gonna get. And I did that, and I I did like $20 worth of bonds or whatever, and it's random, and I still didn't get any of the cosmetics that I wanted. So like I'm not gonna spend any more on that until they let you just. I just want the cosmetics for the operator. So I it's just ridiculous that pissed me off. But I
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
gonna put any
ass.
more
That's
money into it. That's
yeah,
basically a loot box, is what it is.
yeah. It's a terrible loot box, and I said in my video we need to leave that crap in early 2000s, like when it
Yeah.
started. We don't
Mm.
need to have that anymore. So, what I hope they do is if they want to keep like crappy loot boxes, you make it to where you can buy all of the loot boxes for the event with a buttload of Cohen or
Hmm.
the bonds that are cheaper.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I would just rather have it where it's like the pants cost this much, the shirt costs this
Yeah,
much,
that's
you
all
can
I
buy it or
want.
not. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, let me just get what I want. I got like a bunch of charms and some passes or some like cards that I have no idea what it does and didn't really do a good job of explaining it. So I pretty much got nothing out of it, which
Yeah.
was unfortunate.
Yep. So I really hope that they chill out with that stuff because
Yeah.
monetization is one of the big deals. Last week when Fry was streaming, he actually reacted to my video on the Arena Breakout stuff,
Hmm.
and he made a really good point. He said, and in my video, I said, since you don't need to buy in-game Cohen, like you don't like if you just play the game, and I know you've said that too, Buff.
Hmm.
I think that mechanic does so much unnoticed reputational harm to the game. They don't realize it because and Fry said I would play it. And you know, if Fry would play it, that would be a really big audience. Other content creators would probably play it. He can't really play it right now from a moral standpoint because you know he kind of took his stand
Hmm.
of this is pay to win because you can buy in-game Cohen. And I get it. And I just think they're gonna have a membership, they're gonna have a battle pass, they're gonna have cosmetics. Do you really need, and you know, they do have to make money, but like, do you need
Right.
all four of those things? Like beyond what other you know games traditionally do. I really think they would be money and player count ahead if they ditched the in-game currency purchase. People would come way back on it being pay to win, and I think they would get more players. I think they would definitely get more of an audience. And then if you could just buy the skins you wanted, you're going to make money there. So I really wish they would revamp it. We'll see what they end up doing. They say they're revamping monetization, but I hope it's pretty sweeping changes. And I don't know if they'll get all the way to my ideas or not, but I'm hoping.
Yeah, I agree with that. They kind of shot themselves in the foot right at the start with that. Instead of like, I don't think they did a really good job of explaining it or show. You didn't have enough people because I know it took some of us a while to get in and play it and realize how the monetization works. You know how to sell to certain traders and make money, things like that. And you can do if you do certain things daily, you're going to make a lot of money. But I think a lot of people just jumped in, and there was really no context by the developers showing a lot of this, at least from my standpoint. So it just got that reputation right off the bat, like, oh, I can buy in-game currency, which is true. I mean, and again, I think that the skins, the Desert Ops skins or whatever, is a good example of that. That's definitely garbage for sure.
Yeah. And like you and I have both said, like you don't need to buy in-game currency to have fun at this game.
Mhm.
So it's a net negative on the game because it gives it such a crappy reputation from a lot of people. And they don't need it. Because I can't imagine that many people buy it, but maybe I'm surprised.
Yeah, I don't. I think I don't know. I'd love to look at the like analytics of all that for sure.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I really wish I knew how many people were playing the game too, because one of the things that we didn't hear about, and I've seen so many recurring people or recurring statements from viewers and stuff wanting it on Steam
Hmm.
and why it hasn't come to Steam yet. I think there's two reasons. My initial impression was that they want to have their own launcher so they don't have to pay Steam fees, like royalty
Hmm.
fees on stuff. But then Delta Force from Tencent came out right away on Steam, so I was a little bit confused by that. Um, I think that definitely could be part of it. The other thing is, I think it needs some more content and a little bit more time to sort some of this stuff out, because I think when it comes to Steam, it's going to get a lot of people to check it out. And it,
Yeah.
That, and I think reviews might
oh
be a bit
yeah,
more
good point.
negative towards that on Steam, because Delta Force was like that in the beginning. Now it's sitting at mostly positive, but
Mhm.
originally it was kind of sitting at between mixed and negative for a while. So
Yeah.
that's first impressions again there too.
Right.
It's kind of going to be a unique opportunity for Arena Breakout to get for lack of a better way to say it, another first impression. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but they're going to get a lot of
Yeah.
new folks with Steam in it, and they need to have the game in a good place and a fair place.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. With their own launcher right now, they kind of have control in a way, and you nailed it. When it comes to Steam, you're going to get a huge increase in player numbers, new players to the game. So like, yeah, they have a chance for like a fresh start, but yeah, more content, workout details. Like again, if this came to Steam, and again, we'll have to see what this thermal nerf is just one example, right? If this came to Steam
Yeah.
prior, and I don't know if this thermal nerf is going to be enough or not, but prior to it, if it came to Steam, everybody would be pissed off and review
Yeah.
bombing it because it's a huge issue, and there's definitely some issues with the game for sure. So yeah, they right now with their own launcher, they have a measure of control to kind of contain a lot of things. Steam is you're releasing it into the wild essentially. So
Yeah, that's a really good point that you guys had. Like I didn't even think of that. People would be mad about the in-game kill and purchases on Steam
mhm.
reviews. People would be mad about the thermals.
Yeah.
People would be
People are still gonna
mad.
be mad about that regardless, I feel like. So that's
Yeah,
one thing
unless
they
they
can
take it out,
avoid.
man. Like
If they
so,
took it out, I mean, like they could replace it with other things like they already have.
that's what I'm
So it's
saying,
like,
man. Like,
Mhm.
because if they took that out, I would have no problem paying like 10 or 15 bucks for like a cool outfit for my dude. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, weapon
Yeah.
skin or something. Yeah.
so
But
I don't
again,
know.
like then when do you draw the line, right? Because the same conversation we had with Call of Duty, you're paying for the battle pass, you're paying for the bundles. The battle pass in like one bundle is essentially the
I think
cost of
because
what the
it's, I
game
think
is.
you can kind of maybe give them a little bit more leeway because it's free to play. So
Yes.
you don't
I
have to. Whereas like Call of Duty, you have to pay for it
Yeah, and
first.
I had
unless you're doing just Warzone, right? That free to play part
Yeah,
of it.
unless you're just, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Warzone hasn't
so
been the same for a while, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's very good point. Very good point.
Warzone, never heard of her.
Yeah.
No, I had a couple yeah, points to that too. Fry said this and I totally agree. So you have people mad now, like it's pay to win, it's pay to win. And then if they took that out, people would still be like, I can't believe you're supporting this game where you have to pay for a bigger secure container. I mean, if you do think about like 10 bucks a month for a secure container, you play it for a year, that's 120 bucks. You're getting pretty close to the Edge of Darkness edition.
That's
Yeah.
pretty. No, I wouldn't pay for that myself. That one's still kind of a little
So
scummy in my
I'm
book.
just saying then the focus would be like being mad at that. And then
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
you push that and then Fry was like, and I totally agree, and I've said this before too, like then if let's just do a scenario where they took that out, they give everybody the ability to earn the case in game or whatever, then people are gonna be like, well, it's just a Tarkov clone. Like no one's ever gonna, there's always gonna be shit talked about this game.
Yeah.
True, but I think you're getting less and less people upset,
Hmm.
where everyone can kind of agree on like the, not everyone could agree, but there's going to be a lot more people saying that it's a pay to win game. Where if it was just, a Tarkov clone, it'd be like, yeah, well, at least for me, it'd be like, at least this one has a good anti cheat because Tarkov doesn't.
Yeah.
Because Tarkov
And I think
loves
it
their
has
cheaters.
way better quality of life features with it too, which is really good.
Yeah, I'm not playing. You're not playing Tetris the entire time.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
It's like
good stuff.
that's like the biggest thing for me is like
they
the
are bringing
storage.
they are bringing some of the nice QL features from Delta Force in too, like the auto rotative loot. Actually, it's really funny. I was
That's
watching
good.
some Arena Breakout streams, and they were talking about the roadmap from some of the bigger creators, and they're like, "That's so stupid. You don't need it." And honestly, man, I thought that too. Like it's unnecessary. But then I played Delta Force and like how fast I can move loot around where it auto
Yeah,
rotates, and I'm like,
it's
"You
way
want it?
quicker.
Like
It's way
you want it?
quicker.
Yeah,
Just trust me."
yeah.
Plus, what harm does it do, right? I
Yeah, it
mean,
doesn't hurt anything, and
yeah.
you get used to it really fast, and it does speed you up
Hmm.
uh moving stuff around for sure. But um Yeah, I have like a what do you think, Buff? So I would like to do what are some of the things that you want to see change before the game comes to Steam and God willing console?
Yeah, I think my biggest one. So the biggest thing for me is my top two would be get the thermals in a good spot and keep up with the anti cheat. I think the thermal. I think like we've talked about before on the show and when we play. I think a lot of cheaters mask themselves with thermals sometimes. Not all the time,
Mhm.
but it is
It is it's more of a possibility.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really hard to really see that on a kill cam if somebody's obviously cheating because you're highlighted. So I think the thermals are definitely my biggest thing. And even with this nerf, I don't. We're gonna have to wait and see what it does. I would like to see the more graininess with the thermals instead of just like a. It's just basically like a filter on your screen is really all it is. The field of
Mhm.
view isn't enough. I don't think, and it should be more grainier. I want to see a lot more weapons. I know the mobile version has more weapons already out, but like light machine guns, you just need more weapons overall. And again, not to compare it to Tarkov, but also I think you kind of have to in a way. Look at all the weapons Tarkov has. Obviously, that's been built up over years and years and years. Um, but there's a lot of good stuff that I want to see in the game, and mobile has it already, so we know it's going to come. But I want to see continuation where we get like 8 weapons last season in season one. So I want to see that keep going. Um, Grenade spam. I would like to see kind of a cap on how many grenades you're allowed to carry into a raid at least. Ran into a player the other day that probably threw about 12 grenades total at us. Now,
Damn.
whether he had all those on him or he picked some up off one of his buddies that I killed, not sure. But when you're just getting bombarded with grenades, it really, I mean, grenades are definitely helpful, but 12 is excessive, right? Like, how many grenades do you need?
A
So I think
baker's
something,
dozen.
yeah, something like that. Those are like kind of my top ones just off the bat. There's a lot more that could probably think of if I took more time.
Yeah.
Um, but
I'm
yeah,
sure
I
for
think those are
me
my
it's
big
the
ones.
end game stuff because I mean, do the quests they pretty much stay in the same locations every time if you were to just keep doing it?
Kind of out of quests. There's weekly quests that are the same. So there needs to be more of those. And I think they will have them. So every time they have an event, they have like a new quest line that comes with event, like the storm event. There's
I just don't
stuff,
want it
but
to run into the Tarkov issue. Just like there's not. I
yeah,
mean, there's not really a wipe. I know we talked about it, I think last episode where it was just like Tarkov wipes are just everyone knows exactly where the pocket watch is now, so they just go
Yeah.
run straight to there. So it's like I don't want to see that happen to Tarkov either. And or not Tarkov, sorry, ABI,
ABI.
and then
Yeah, yeah.
also maybe like I do like the events, maybe some a little bit more story elements, like why are we doing this a little bit more? Because their cinematics as well too are really good.
Hmm.
Like that's
yeah, they
when I first saw that game because of the cinematic, and then I was like, oh, it's a mobile game.
Yeah,
But then I played it
I
on
remember we
hardware.
talked. Well, I remember we did that episode and we were like all pumped, and then it's like, oh, it's a mobile
Like,
game.
it's
yeah.
mobile. So
Yeah,
it's like if
so
they could just kind of stick with that maybe a little bit more and lean into it some more, I think it just like, give it some more something more different than Tarkov.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Because
they did say there's going to be more lore and stuff with the new map. So there's going to be new quests on the new Northridge map. Interestingly enough, that's another thing another reason I'm kind of getting hooked on this game. I'm done with the quest. And the weekly quests are almost the same, but I'm getting hooked on the game because of how much time I spend in raid, the gunfights, and I'm getting addicted to getting rank points, playing for
Same.
rank
so
Yeah.
there's
like I
more
did in
to it.
Siege,
Yeah.
like trying to get to Emerald in Siege every season.
Hmm.
The ranked is what's sucking me in, and that always hooks me in a game more than like quest and story. That's just how I've always been. I like the PvP stuff.
You want to
And
see your name on a list somewhere
I just I don't
other
know,
than
man.
the
I was just
FPIs.
like
But
I'm just in there playing. It's like, all right, if I extract, I'm like, okay, I need to get a kill for some more RP, like more rank points, and like trying to get into Ace or Legend would be so sick. I don't think Legend's attainable for me this season, but maybe something to work for. It's like a long-term goal, but I've been getting kind of hooked on that. And the fact that there's a game that's got extraction shooter mechanics that's dark and gritty, kind of like Tarkov, that you can play for rank for is like kind of a perfect storm that I didn't realize I wanted
And the
in
good
a
thing, I
game. But
think one of the biggest benefits to this is it doesn't need to be a full-time job to just get in there and have good gunfights and fun with your buddies, right? Like
That
it's
too.
not you
Yeah.
don't need to be
Wait
like
till console players hopefully get that experience, man. This
man,
game will
how
blow up
many
even
over the
more.
years, how many times have you guys gotten comments, is Tarkov going to come to console? Like so many I've Googled
Or
it in the
really just
past.
such and such game coming to console. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, dude,
And finally,
this
they're gonna get this game's gonna thrive. So I think that goes back to our, not to get too off topic, but just having their own launch right now on Steam, because we know the console version is gonna be coming early this year. Net and Steam combined, they want the game to be in a really good spot because they're about to open it up, the floodgates to the audiences, more player base. It's gonna be huge. I'm really excited to see what the player base looks like when both those things happen.
yep. And that's why I
yeah.
liked our discussion of what would you want to see happen. And for
Mhm.
me, it's like because I'm the same way, and then we'll talk about it with Arma Reforger getting like starting to really pick up steam as a game because of that console audience. And that's why
Yeah.
I'm trying not to, because I've been excited like about our channels and stuff before, but like I'm really excited for our channels when we get this console audience on YouTube, like a lot of
Yeah.
new players and
It'll be
stuff.
huge. It'll be huge.
And it should be a huge audience for a game that a lot of dude console. If I was on console, which I was back in the day, and I knew this Delta Force game was coming, man, I
Mhm.
mean Delta Force and Arena Breakout Infinite, I'd be so amped, dude.
This is literally those are the games, the reason I got a gaming PC in back in May when I got it. Is this ABI was in early beta, and we had access to it, and I was like, I have to play. Like I can't wait anymore. I
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
I was like
Can't
I
wait
should
anymore.
wait. I should wait for console release. I was like, screw that. Like I'm
It'd
not
be,
waiting
yeah, you'd
over a
be here
year probably.
So yeah, and
2027.
that's really what I wanted to see in
Mhm.
the roadmap that I didn't. But before the game gets there, I really want to see a little bit more granular and dynamic quests every week. They're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the balance and stuff that we talked about. But in that roadmap, I really wish they would have addressed console. Really, all we're going off of is a while back, like sometime last year, the devs in Discord said they're bringing it to console. That's really all we're going off of. We haven't heard anything more than that. Um, so
They've made some teases with like X posts and things like that too, though, here and there.
um,
So
but
we'll see.
yeah, I don't know. I had a whole list of stuff in my head about what I wanted it to be before they released it to Steam and stuff. But I think we talked about it. They're
Yeah.
also doing some audio changes and helping that out too. Um,
That's
but
I was wearing one of the, like, I think it's the G32 or the M32 headset, the other day, and the headset's so good that everything sounds too close. And I was playing with Justin, and I was like, "Oh my god, like they're right on top of us." And he had a lower tier headset. He's like, "No, that's way far away. I could hear things too
uh-oh.
well." So it was confused. I was like extra paranoid because it sounded like everything was right on top of me. But yeah, I just did want to mention. I know, like, with the thermals, a lot of people run the M110 is kind of meta. So is the FAL, and there's some other meta guns. So I think the addition of more weapons of those calibers that are the meta calibers would be good, because then you'd have more variety, and then obviously more 5.56 weapons. Like we know there's going to be a saw that's coming. There's going to be an MCX Virtus that's coming,
Oh yeah.
and a lot more guns. So I think that'll be good. And I did want to mention, there is an MG3 flash suppressor in the game that you can like pick
Bro,
up
if
and
we get
sell
an
and stuff.
MG3, dude.
Yeah, so that's what I was looking at my inventory. I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "That looks like an MG3 muzzle device," and it was. And you can, like, obviously you can't attach it to anything. You can sell it. So I'm just, if they add an MG3, how cool would that be? I was talking about this with Justin. It's like, obviously you can't 7.62 by 51 that rate of fire at
You're not
950.
you're
You
not gonna
can't.
control that
Yeah, so it's
properly.
like to
Yeah.
have a bipod feature where the only way to actually make it feasible is like you have to mount the bipod somewhere would add another really cool level of gameplay is like actually using a machine gun how a machine gun should be used and finding choke points, things like that. So that's
Mhm.
something that I think is exciting. The more weapons, the better. Iron out some of the kinks. They have time to do it. So we'll see what this patch does. And then again, I'm really excited to see what season 2 looks like when that comes also, because season 1 was huge in my opinion, was one of the best seasons I've seen in a game maybe ever.
Yeah, because they completely revamped the graphics and like didn't even tell anybody. It was
It
like
was
one of the
huge.
coolest things. So
It- it-
I'm hoping some of the things like console release and all that
Mhm.
stuff are similar. Like they're not telling anybody about it. And they're just like working
Yeah.
on it.
Right, exactly. I mean, how cool was it the first time we jumped in and you get the rain coming down on farm and the water, like how the water looks on your gun and everything. Really cool. So
Yeah.
this is this is my favorite game right now. So I'm having
Yeah,
a
me
good time
too. I'm gonna play it tonight after I eat
with
supper. So all right, let's get into this topic. This is Blue's fault that we're bringing it up.
Yeah.
So it's
Usually
on him.
it's Crash and I, and now Blue's
Yeah.
like, we need to talk about Battlefield. So I
So
don't know
and
Listen,
what's gotten
I
into him.
got a
it's
little
2025 now. It's
I got,
getting to that
We
time.
we haven't had the discussion in a while.
We've been avoiding the conversation for a bit. We're still a little, broken from the last one.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna do our best not to go on a Battlefield rant. By the way, guys, we'll do our best. No guarantees though.
absolutely zero guarantees. If it's a problem, send your complaints to the scope podcast complaints at gmail.com. Anyways, sorry, I'll stop doing that. It's funny to me.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious, and I hope somebody emails that.
So let's talk about this stuff. So what's funny about this whole discussion is that Blue in our podcast Discord, he sent me and Buff a link to a Game Rant article about what to expect from Battlefield in 2025. But when I saw Game Rant, I thought it was the other Game Rant article that everyone's pissed off about on X. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to surprise Blue with a little Game Rant article after this first one.
I ain't know the one on X. So yeah, this
Yeah,
is.
this is news to you, but
I don't know if it's gonna be a good one, but
no, it's bad. Game Rant's really not putting out intelligent articles. Let's just say
no,
that.
and most of it is just like copy and paste from Tom Henderson stuff. If anything,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
it's just
No,
restating what they've always said.
this is an opinion piece with very bad
From Game
opinion.
Rant? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it's real
Yeah,
bad.
the next one we'll look at. Oh yeah,
Screw Game Rant.
It'll
Yeah.
surprise you. It'll surprise you.
You guys are ding dongs.
Make sure not Kotaku.
They're working on it. So we know that Battlefield 6, or I guess we'll call it BF6 for all intents and purposes, is saying, quote unquote, back to its roots approach. So this has been talked about in conference calls, the earnings calls, as well as like what Vince Zampella said. And he did state what he said, things that give us hope. We have to be really careful. We've all been burned so many times, but he said the pinnacle of Battlefield is Battlefield 3 and 4. And he wants to get back to the core of what Battlefield is. 64 player cap's going to be reinstated with classes returning, which makes me think no specialists. So
And
I
that's what
think
they say.
Yeah, they say that. Thank God.
and the biggest thing that I'm curious about is Vincent Pella said in an IGN article, we covered it on the program. He mentioned that a community program for Battlefield 6 would be launching in early 2025 with large scale community driven testing program set to take place early next year. So like what's going on with that? And I really wonder how that's going to work. It sounds really cool on paper, but I just don't know. Battlefield's always been like a really secretive project, and we get the leaks. And I originally built the base of my channel for 2042 leaks. It's like when my channel started to pick up steam back in the day. And how's that going to work with like large scale community content, like or testing? Because that's going to get kind of let the cat out of the bag per se. I don't know.
Yeah, so from what we could tell, there's going to be early testers getting their hands on, apparently early sometime this year. So that'll be before any alpha or beta tests. So I'm pretty sure. I'm curious. The people on the EA creator list will get hands on first. And then we'll probably see some videos come out of things that they cannot say. But another one is just like I'm curious if they're gonna put out like one of those like sign up here type of tests because that's what they did say too. They said that they've learned, quote unquote, from the way they released and tested 2042 before. So they're gonna even extend playtest and do the most amount of playtests any Battlefield game has ever seen from again what they've said. And I mean, yeah, that's kind of just all we hope for. I mean, Battlefield's always kind of just been notorious though, ever since Battlefield 3, really, for just horrendous playtest. Especially like the open betas. It's been just
Yeah.
nonstop bugs, and it's kind of it was kind of like a running joke for a while. But I mean, I'm still expecting bugs because I am looking forward to another Battlefield game. I'm just not excited for it as much as I should be.
It's hard
Either.
because you don't know what to expect, right? The bar's been
No
set
idea.
so
Yeah.
low over the past
Exactly.
couple
And then
titles.
and they're saying everything that we want. The Battlefield 3 and 4 was prime Battlefield, which 99.9% of Battlefield players could agree with.
Yeah.
Um
Could just be talking
oh,
points, though. I remember Battlefield 2042
exactly.
was way ahead of schedule, so
I'm also excited just for another single player like campaign. I hope
So
it's
far.
like a legit campaign though and not like
yeah,
the episodes that they released in like
yeah.
Battlefield 5 and stuff like that. So
I
Battlefield
yeah.
1's campaign was amazing, by the way. Like the soundtrack, the score,
Mhm.
the characters,
The
of course it's one of, I think
graphics
it's one of the it was one of the most
still.
immersive Battlefield games ever. I think yeah,
Mhm.
more
Yeah.
so than any other game out there. So
Yeah,
and it's crazy
visually
that it's
stunning.
I mean it's crazy it wasn't even Unreal Engine Lumen Nanite stuff. It was just Frostbite at its peak, I feel like. But um
Eh.
and
Not
that's
to get,
but
like
that one's crazy because real quick because it's like
yeah,
the
go ahead.
campaign is also going to be made by Criterion Games
Mm,
specifically, so they're kind of like bringing in all instead of just EA working on it by itself, EA slash Dice. You have EA and Dice kind of working on like the main Battlefield multiplayer stuff. You have Criterion working on the single player stuff, and then you have Ripple Effects working on a unannounced Battlefield inspired experience or Battlefield
A
experience.
new Battlefield
yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like when I first read new Battlefield, I thought it was Battlefield like experience, and I almost got excited that I was like Medal of Honor, but it wasn't. So
Right?
and we'll see.
Yeah, Tom said it's going to be a standalone Battlefield Battle Royale. Said that in the
Which
past,
makes sense. And
and it
it
wasn't
did put
true.
some Easter eggs in 2042 recently, or was it 2042? Yeah, of like for Firestorm of like
Mhm.
there's like a little ring and there's like a little like model or something like that inside a circle. So it's like it could be a possibility. I'm kind of tired of battle royale, but then we also saw their take on extraction battlefield title that didn't work out either. Hazard Zone. So
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
didn't
um
finish it
Yeah, that was
at
yeah,
all.
they
definitely
Like,
did.
put
Yeah, they
together
never.
last minute.
Yeah, well, the whole game wasn't finished, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
maybe if they
dude,
tried it again in a modern setting with like kind of how if they just did, like a better version of DMZ, maybe it might be a thing, but I
Well,
don't
I
know.
think Firestorm was a really good battle royale, I think. The problem is
It was
they dropped
locked.
support, like,
still is.
immediately, and it was locked behind
Yeah.
the paywall, yeah, so, I mean, if they did
Mhm.
it right, I mean, I feel like that's always a conversation we have with Battlefield if they did it right, so
What's really funny is right now, the landscape changes, especially in the AAA space and like the online sentiment with everybody. But Warzone is kind of down. It's down kind of bad right now. So there
Yeah,
is a place for that. And we've said
mhm,
the last several titles, man. With BFV, we were like, dude, make Firestorm free to play. It was behind the paywall, came out the same time as Apex Legends. That was free. And then they did Hazard Zone, which wasn't even complete. It was also behind the paywall. I would love to
Mhm.
see how Battlefield could do with a free to play mode like a Firestorm 2. And I mean, people will laugh at me for saying that. I My first video that did decent on my YouTube channel was me talking about how Firestorm was my favorite battle royale, and it's a shame how it
Mhm.
got treated. It was gorgeous. It had a Battlefield feeling to it. At the time, it was the only battle royale with destruction. So if people were camping in a house, you just blow son of a bitch up.
Mhm.
Like so nice. It had vehicle gameplay. There was a lot of vehicle counter. It was
Yeah,
balanced
bigger
with having to get
rockets and stuff
fuel.
like that. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, the fuel. I forgot about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like they you found them, they were out of fuel. You had to like fuel them up. And just all that stuff, man, was awesome. The map was gorgeous, dude. Like
It
that
was.
Halvoy map,
It was beautiful, yeah.
so good. Um, and yeah, man, I don't know. I just think that was such a shame. And they've Battlefield has had the makings of a blockbuster title for forever. It's got the mystique, it's got the history, the storied history behind it to do it. So it's always going to have a big audience when they release a new one. And they've just missed the mark. And now we're hearing Vince Zampella say all the right stuff. It's hard not to get excited, but I personally was burned so bad on 2042. I'm really not getting excited till I play it and see it. Um, but it sounds like they're going to make a modern title. It sounds like all the things that Buff and I bore blue with all the time when we talk about what we want to see in the next Battlefield. Sounds like that's what they're leaning towards. Because I think if you had something like a Firestorm that was free, that people could get a taste of how Battlefield felt with some of the destruction and some of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little vehicle gameplay, like, oh man, I might want to play the multiplayer too.
And again,
And
that
bring more
brings
people in.
yeah, and if you have a battle pass, the same thing Call of Duty does. They do it brilliantly with that free to play mode. Still making like we've talked about it, right? Call of Duty, if you're only playing the free to play mode, a season pass and a couple bundles are more than the game costs anyway. So you're making that money back plus more, I feel like, if you have good content, right? So hopefully they do it right this time. I mean, the talking points are good.
Yeah.
We know they can crush trailers, so we're gonna see an amazing trailer, and it's gonna lose our
Yeah, the trailer
minds.
team's gonna be on point for sure. I'm
Yeah,
just curious when, because now it's like the timeline. So from according to this article, it's like their target, I guess, possible release window. This is more an estimate, by the way. It's not official.
not confirmed.
Yeah,
October
October.
2025. So
Mhm.
it's like, but the beta for 2042 back then was around early October, November timeframe. So it's like if they're
There
looking
was an
to
open
release,
test in the summer, though, wasn't there?
Soon June boom.
Well, that's
I
when the
think
trailer
so.
dropped, right? So there
No.
was
Like that.
no.
So
I
it's
thought
like,
that
but it's
I
like,
can't
well,
remember.
because regardless, it's like that was mainly the beta, or it was October, November, and they said it
Yeah,
was
it
a
was
pretty much
right
full
before.
build.
I thought the beta
So
was in June. Maybe that was the trailer.
That was when they dropped the trailer finally.
Oh,
I
never
think the
mind.
pre-alpha playtest thing was
June,
like
July,
August, I
August.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that
you're
makes
right.
sense. So, but so with that, it makes you wonder how far back they're gonna go for play testing and allowing players to get hands on for an alpha play test. So it's
Mhm.
like, are you gonna when are you gonna put a release trailer out? A teaser trailer. It's gonna be like less than a minute, most likely, with like I don't know. It might be something like you'll just see the title card, maybe some things in the background, and then on top of that, you have whenever they announce a release date for a playtest, which is hopefully a lot longer than. That's the thing. I don't know if it should be a 3 month gap between a playtest and full release, but it needs to be quite some time because that's what they said. So I mean, we're January now. You don't have much time to between now and a playtest date, and then also a release date for this year. And that's
Yeah.
if they make it on that at that release date and don't delay it as well too, which we've seen to just be like a common thing with AAA titles nowadays too. So it's like,
Yeah.
I from what they're saying, I wouldn't be surprised if it got delayed, but I'm not look. It's like I'm hoping it does well. Again, same thing, and I've said it multiple times. Like I love playing Delta Force. It's fun. I don't want to love it, but I enjoy it. But just makes me want a
You want a
Battlefield
good
game.
Battlefield, yeah.
Yeah,
And
So
I do think I threw something in Discord there, Crash. I don't know if you can pull that up or not, but as far as like teasers, you said this, and I just instantly Googled it. So the first Battlefield 3 anything, right? They released a teaser on February 4th, 2011 is when this is the first. I don't know if you
February
guys.
2011.
February 4th, 2011 is when this came out. This was the very first teaser for Battlefield 3. So there was nothing regarding it out. No one knew anything. Boom, this dropped. I remember being in college and seeing this and just losing my mind because there was
Yeah, dude, I mean, if they
direct
do something
sequel to
similar like
Battlefield 2.
that, dude,
There's no gameplay here either. This is all just, this is all you need to do is something like that to get the audience like buzzing and
hyped up.
something in that sort of teaser you see, okay, we know the setting, we know the tone. So much can come out of that quick teaser there. That's all they would need to do for a quick,
And you said this came out February, which means
yeah,
maybe it could be
a month,
similar to what
literally
this
a
maybe.
month
So,
from now, we could see it if they do it right. I mean, the marketing campaign for Battlefield 3 is brilliant, and like right there, I mean, you see none of this is gameplay, but it tells you everything you need to know about the title. So I hope they do something like this. The
oh
campaign here was great, or the marketing campaign was great.
yeah,
The campaign for the game was also great, but I hope they do something like this to get the hype going, get in with the play test, and do it right. I mean, they're saying the key talking points are Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 was peak. So let's hope they stay true to that. I think this is a good way
forgot
to do
about
it.
what Danger Man said in the chat of when Medal of Honor came out. There was beta access codes you can get for Battlefield 3 beta
Right,
in the case
right. I
as
remember
well
that.
too.
Yeah, that was
Damn.
with Medal of Honor 2010. You had was it or was it Warfighter? Warfighter was 2012.
It was
So
2010 Medal of Honor
okay.
because it was
So I think it
2011.
I think it was the next I don't know. I think it was just saying the next Battlefield beta, or maybe it just said Battlefield 3 with no context. I actually have the case behind me somewhere. I could look, but yeah, I mean that would be great. I hope they
uh, I
cross
do
those
want to
lines.
know what this article though is for the Game Rant Twitter
Uh,
feed or
So
yep.
this is a
feed.
prime example, Blue, of setting the bar so low with the past few titles, and you'll see what I mean here.
Is
Yeah,
it? Someone said in
I do.
chat could be an engagement bait as well too,
I
which
guess so. I
I
do
think
want
it
to. I
probably
do.
is.
I do want to add one more thing. This has to have a server browser. Has to,
And
please.
yeah,
and server browser, rent a server, and I would
community
like
servers.
to be able to have some sort of in-game clan support where you can have your team, like Battlefield Bad Company 2 had it. You can create your own game right there on the fly, that's private, and pull in yourself and the other team if we were doing game battles back in the day. Something
Yeah,
like
with
that.
your custom emblem as well too, if possible.
Right. Yeah. The create a
I don't care
server and
if
everything was great.
there's what was it like? Just like people putting freaking dicks on their shoulders. Like
Yeah,
it's the
whatever.
internet. You're gonna see it. There were some really
Yeah.
cool patches
I
though that
think in
came out
my
though.
emblem, I think I did Bob's Burgers on Battlefield One. So I had Bob's Burgers on
Nice.
the side of my tank. I
That's
remember that
cool.
Bob Belcher, baby.
You could
That's
Um,
create
all,
your own.
man.
so
You could create all your own stuff, yeah, on the battle log and
I made a
upload it into
few.
the
I
game.
made a
It's
cool couple
here,
it's fun.
patches. I mean,
Yeah.
here, here you go, Blue. The
oh,
headline: Battlefield 6 should take a less is more approach with guns. So they say in here they want DICE to create a smaller scale title. They want it to take a less is more approach. They said to do.
which that makes sense a little bit.
They said that, huh? They said to do less guns and
That's dumb.
focus on other things. And in this article, a base number of about 15 guns could be a great starting point for the next Battlefield game. While it could
Do
seem
they
like a
want
shockingly small
2042?
amount of weapons for players to choose from, this is where DICE could focus on balancing the weapons to the best of its abilities while also playing on unique attributes to keep from guns feeling like clones of one another.
Okay, hear me out. While I don't agree with this article in its entirety, if they did add some kind of weapon customization into the game, where take like the new SIG weapon for the army,
Beer.
if you
The
could,
M7.
the spear, yeah, if you could take that and customize it to have both a longer barrel, shorter barrel, drum mag, belt fed, whatever the hell you want, kind of thing. What I know that some of the parts are interchangeable on that one specifically, so it's like you can make it a DMR, you can make it an assault rifle, you can make it an SMG if you want it.
Mhm.
So it'd be like one weapon platform, but multiple ways to use that weapon. So
I
like
agree with
No,
if
that.
they did
I
something like that, that's fine. But I'm also how many what did they say?
15.
15.
That's still way too low
It's
though.
still way
Like
too
at
low.
least 20 and up, maybe
And
25. I know
Battlefield.
what. So what they're probably gonna do maybe is if they did like a 20 plus, they might introduce more weapons. I'm thinking realistically. From what I would love is Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 type of weapons where it's just there was like 30 weapons just for each faction on a list, plus sidearms, plus what was it? Rocket launchers, RPGs, that it was a lot. It was a lot. So it's like, you know, I would like to see also, yeah, he even said Danger said like faction exclusive ones too
I
make a
liked
comeback.
that until you
I
leveled
enjoyed
up
it. It
all the
made
way.
it made it seem like you're Russians fighting against Americans, Chinese
Mhm.
versus Americans, whatever the hell. It was usually Americans versus everyone. To be fair,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw. Was there Russians versus Chinese? I don't think so. So,
Battlefield
uh,
4 there was. I don't remember for 3.
Battlefield 4, yeah, you're right. You're right. So, but, um, yeah, I mean, even bringing to be honest, I didn't mind in 2042. The one thing I didn't mind was like seeing like older weapons from past titles come into the mix as well too. Like seeing like XM8 kind of come into the mix back then. I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. But like, I mean,
That was cool, but I also
it
think
was
it was
cool, but it's like it was a
listen,
horrible for meta and balance. Like they made
right.
they made the old school like M16A3 like one of the most powerful guns in the game, where you didn't want to use like the 2042 weapons.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah,
And it
So
was also we don't have content, so let's reuse content is really I think what that
exactly,
was about.
exactly. But I would like to see more of like a weapon customization. At least like let me change the optic, let me change the muzzle
You know what did it best,
device.
Blue? I mean, I loved Modern Warfare 2019's approach because that's what the other what you're saying is take one weapon and you can create several, right? That's how my YouTube channel was born, literally doing exactly that. So I love that
The
idea.
2019 approach.
Yeah, I love that gunsmith, but the one I like better, and I think you'll agree with this, or at least I would like to see a mix is Modern Warfare 2019's gunsmith and who
Mhm.
they copied it from, which was Medal of Honor Warfighter, because they had a very
Yeah,
good weapon
yeah.
customization system. But then you take that and add a little bit of the freedom that Modern Warfare 2019 did, and I think you can make that argument that that would be good. But I put it in chat there. So for context, 15 weapons total is what they're saying. Battlefield 3 had over 50 weapons at launch. Modern Warfare 2019 had 35 primaries, 10 pistols at launch. So that just gives you 15. Like I mean, you even agreed it's obviously way too low. But if
Way
you
too
can,
low.
if
Yeah.
you, I think like 30 to 35 at launch minimum. If you're
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
create, if I'm able to create, take some of those guns, a good handful, and make maybe 4 or 5 different weapons out of them.
What do you think, Crash? I'm curious what your
More
thoughts on.
guns, more
Yeah,
Yeah,
guns.
more
I
Because
guns.
completely
because
agree.
and even for just the fact that you can say we're launching with 45 weapons or something like that, because I think 2042 was such a stain on the history of Battlefield because of one of the biggest things was the lack of content.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's so out of touch to come out with an article that say they should come out with less content from a
When they
title.
had no content.
Yeah, after a title that had the least amount of content by far in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
franchise at launch, that was
Right.
panned at launch, that no one liked, that very few people liked, that was a really hopefully we'll see in 2025, but hopefully was the low point of the franchise. And to
Hopefully.
say you need to go even
Really
less
hope
content than
so.
that is such a ding dong thing to say. I think there needs to be a lot of weapons. Um, I I I always and I think it's been so long since I've looked at World War III. I'm so sorry to bring it up, Blue. Um, I really just liked that. I thought that was a really nice happy medium for gun customization. It wasn't too much,
Right.
but it was enough where you
It
felt
was
like
good.
you could change the weapon.
Yeah, I wish
And
there wasn't like crazy skins in that game either. Too, there
yeah,
was some really wacky skins in that one, like chameleon, like it changed
Mm.
colors and stuff. So
but if you could have that and have the granular character customization too, I would love that.
yeah,
To see that coming,
that's
but
another thing too. It's like I wonder what the time frame will be. I did see it was a video. I forgot to post it to the production team, but it was someone that made like a an Unreal Engine 5 quote unquote battlefield teaser. It
Oh,
was fake, of course, but it made it look like it was taken like first person from the streets of Donetsk or in
oh
Ukraine
wow.
or something like that. Like it was like damn. So it's like I wonder if they'll go for a more modernized approach. I don't want near future either. I mean, then again, we kind of live in the near future now. Like we already have drones and smart
Well, that
optics and kinds of stuff.
yeah,
So it's like
exactly.
if they could just kind of stick to this era
Mm,
of war fighting and whatnot, I'm okay with that. I really don't want to see anything too futuristic
yeah.
that kind of takes me out of it.
That was exactly what I was going to say, because 15 weapons, but again, we haven't had a modern title in a long time. You look at modern, that's what I think I love. I mean, I was going back and forth with some people on X the other day, like, and they were like, period pieces are great and they're refreshing after you've had modern titles for so long. I completely agree with that, but I do think a modern, a modern content, not near future, not, Cold War, a modern today, you have the most options for content out of any time, any game you can make with a different, whether period piece or not. Because I mean, you have so many weapons to choose from today, and like you just said, the NGSW scopes. There's so much different, many versions of different body armor, helmets. You can have endless content with today. Whereas if a period piece like World War I, World War II, you're restricting yourself unless you want to get crazy with
Yeah.
it. And then future, I mean, they tried it and it just didn't. I mean, you have so much content today, so just use that. I think that's why Battlefield's best in a modern setting.
Hold on. For the production team, I just so you guys can kind of get it real quick. I found it and I had to kind of for the visual
I'm
for the
watching it
people on the
right
live
now.
stream.
I'm watching it right now.
It's
Wow,
like oh man, it's literally
it's
perfect to
beautiful.
the what I the what's the word?
bruh,
Yeah, this is
that's
one person made this by the way on Unreal Engine 5 and it's like I can imagine this being the campaign.
If
So
this, if
sorry audio guys, but like I mean this is again just Unreal Engine 5. This is just a quick snippet. Someone made it because they love Battlefield, but I could have I if they make it like this dark, gritty,
I want this
you
trailer,
know,
this is what I want for a teaser
no,
right
this should
here.
be
yeah,
teaser.
exactly.
That teaser you're talking about, just have like this
This
little
is it.
short thing.
This
Like,
is
yeah.
it. Yeah, right here. That
Boom,
is
Battlefield
perfect.
6 title or whatever the heck it's going to be called,
I would
so it's
almost
like
be dumb enough to pre-order if that was a teaser. Almost.
Whoa.
dude,
Almost.
almost. I agree. Almost. We're not gonna pre-order. Hold your pre-orders.
I'm just
Don't
gonna
do it,
send you
please.
then I'm gonna send you my initial review of 2042 and you have to rewatch it before you can pre-order.
Yeah, good
And I'll be
idea.
screaming in your head, we're way ahead of
Required
schedule. We're
viewing.
way ahead of schedule. We're way ahead of schedule.
Required viewing before pre-ordering Battlefield 6.
Yes.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I would that's exactly what I would want to see from a teaser. That'd be
It's pretty
perfect.
cool.
But it's like, damn, imagine Battlefield like
Making a
frag
Battlefield
drones.
game.
Actually being
Yeah.
good again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're running
Yeah.
out of time. What's
That was our opinion piece.
that always happens when we talk about Battlefield.
All right.
That was our
Whoops.
opinion piece.
It's
We're
worth. It's
passionate
worth.
over here, all right?
Yeah, you guys love it though in chat, right, guys?
And
Right?
again,
Hot
and
topic.
again, I will always say just make it on Battlefield 5's version of Frostbite. It looked awesome. It ran awesome. Give us a server browser, make it modern, and we're on to the
Boom.
next one. Like
Boom.
You hear
that's
that,
it.
Vince? I know you
Fix
watch
it.
our podcast. Yeah, we know you're in the.
Ship
I can
it.
see you in the participant list right now. There you are, Vince Zampella.
I'll throw a little
Here.
some cookie crumbs in there. What if for some monetization purposes, they integrate some Medal of Honor, Warfighter and Medal of Honor 2010 like characters for cosmetics. Like being able to
Yeah.
play, like, okay, I'm gonna buy the like Medal of Honor 2010, some of those characters like Stump or whatever his name was, and some of those guys, and that could be your operator for certain like that. We'll get into it another time. We've talked about it before, but that's the monetization opportunities are there if they can just do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So here comes a
It's
good one. So this is, man, I'm going to warn you guys. We're going to talk about these Delta Force Season 2 links. And I just have to say this with a grain of salt because it is, for me at least, is going to sound incredibly negative. Like a lot of this stuff looks absolutely atrocious. But we have to do the caveat that none of us have played it yet. We haven't played it yet. I've seen this happen time and time again with Rainbow Six Siege, where they announce an operator. Everyone says it's going to be broken and it's going to be terrible, and it comes out and it's not that bad. But this looks bad. We can't say for sure, but on the surface, I don't like my first impressions of it. So what we have seen coming from Delta Force in the terms of leaks, a lot of this stuff has been compiled on. Let me look at the account real quick. Let me just switch this over real quick. It's like Leakers on Duty DF, Leakers on Duty Delta Force on Twitter or on X. But the new operator has a shield that goes on his back that protects him up from the back. But he can pull the shield out, and it's like Rainbow Six Siege pre-shield nerf, where he can bonk you twice and you're dead. And the first time you get bonked, it knocks you down. So it knocks you down, incapacitates you. He hits you again, you're dead. Wait, there's more. That grappling hook, not only I thought it would just maybe grab enemy loot boxes or whatever. The grappling hook, at least in this version of the Chinese playtest that's going on right now for the next season, can grab an alive enemy, pull him in close, and then bonk him to death, which you're about to see right here. So takes a player in, has no counter, and bonks him 3 times, and he's dead. Cannot shoot back, cannot
That's
do
Dude.
anything.
terrible. That's not
Oh
good.
my god.
There
That
you go.
became horrible, man. Apex Legends type stuff there. I think you mentioned it in the video, right? Freaking Pathfinder.
Yeah, where he shoots the grappling hooks or whatever. But this is like pulling in enemies and like, brother, that looks so atrocious. And it's one of those things like maybe it comes out and it's not OP, and that very well could happen. It might not be statistically OP, but you cannot tell me like if you die to that,
It
you
was
might be
so
done playing
good.
for the night
You
or
became
uninstalling.
you basically become a mini boss, is what you're saying.
It sounds like it. I mean, you can always get shot in the back and stuff, but damn it, man. Like,
Oh
I hope
my
it's just like
gosh,
I hope
dude.
it's so hard to actually do that it's like more of a meme
I
kill.
hope it's just not in the game at all, but I know it's gonna be in the game. It's gonna be. I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to like Debbie Downer, but I
I
think
think
that's
it'll
gonna be in
be
the game, dude.
I think it'll be tough
Get over here.
to do. I think it'll be tough
Yeah.
to do. I think it'll be tough to do in the warfare mode with a bunch of people all around you, like you can get flanked and whatever. But in the
Right.
operations mode, if you think you're in kind of a standoff or something, you lean around the corner behind your shield, grappling hook somebody and pull them up the stairs, kill them. Now their buddies up there. You got them. They can't revive them, and
Yep.
it's 3v2. They kill one more person. Well, it's a 1v1. Send old shield boy down there on a
What if
1v1. He's
all
winning
three
that
of
every
you
time.
what if all 3 of you are shield
Or
guys?
the
Then
shield person,
He's
exactly,
winning that
dude.
you're
every time.
screwed.
Yeah, you're just back to back to back, and you got a 360-degree shield, man.
Just
Like,
grapple the entire enemy team and
Yeah.
pull them in.
dude,
S-
again, this is another reason why I need Battlefield to succeed this year, please.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, like I no more operators in any game. I'm so tired of freaking specialists and operators.
So then there's the new part of the map, which this is a positive. Zero Dam is getting an expansion.
That's cool.
There's going to be an underground area.
I did
That
see
looks
that.
like.
That was kind of cool to see. I mean, the
Wait,
way they kind of showcased of like the
underground
guy just
or
yeah,
above
and
the
the way they
dam?
showcased it was like a guy falling down a ladder chute, pretty
Oh,
much.
cool.
Just yeah, it was just like kind of lame, but I mean,
The teaser.
It's pretty cool. I gotta
yeah.
find. It's
To be
this one.
honest,
This
none
one.
of their teasers have really been crazy. They haven't been. Some of them have
So
been pretty cringe.
yeah, so they're from China.
Whoa.
They're like the Chinese ones. But I'm going to Friday they're going to do the US
Yeah, look
like
at
announcement of stream of everything
Okay.
on Friday. So
oh my god,
I'm thinking
dude.
about taking it off and co-streaming it and just kind of like live reacting to stuff because it might be kind of
Yeah.
wild. Um, whenever other people, I just want to see the community's reaction to some of this stuff that hasn't seen
Yeah.
it. But the other thing that's cool, so this is like the new underground part that you're seeing now on the screen. Sorry, audio listeners, we love you.
It looks
There
cool.
is
Trust us.
it looks pretty sweet. And then the other thing that I think I would here comes Shield Boy. The other thing that I would think is a positive is the 3v3v3 mode. So they're doing like an Alara Prime thing, or even more so like Cutthroat from Call of Duty. This says January 15th, Starfall is launching in Florida or Florida. I'm thinking of buff
Only
or blue.
Florida? Wow.
In
Crazy.
Florida, yeah.
Hell yeah.
In
Let's
China,
go.
why did I get those mixed up?
Gotta go to
Florida,
Florida. We're
Florida,
moving.
China, same thing. I'm gonna have to VPN to Florida.
Ni hao.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna
Ni
have to
hao,
V.
brother.
That's right. I'm gonna VPN to Florida to play this early, I guess. But the 3v3v3 arena mode looks pretty cool. It looks like there's a mantle brick in the middle you have to go for. So this really looks like Call of Duty's Cutthroat mode. To me, where it was 3v3v3 with a flag that would pop up in the middle as time ran out. Looks really similar to that. So I think that could be really cool. One problem I did see is in some of the gameplay, you could see like the specialists in the squads, and there was 2 shield guys on one team. So maybe you can do 2 or 3 shield guys on one team,
You can
which
do
would
3. I
be
know it. There's no way. If you could do 3 of any other operator, you could do 3 of the shield guy. And there's gonna be, unless they make that a rule for every operator.
somebody's gonna do it. Yeah, here's the 3v3v3 trailer, but it
I could
looks
see
pretty
content
sick.
creators like the bigger ones just doing it just to troll. If it's gonna be like that, imagine being the guy getting stuck. You're solo, and you just happen to be stuck between 3 shield guys, all grappling you at the same time, just one after another, just
And it
Yeah.
just pulls
trolling
your
you,
limbs
dude.
off your body because there's all the
Pretty
grappling
much,
hooks are
yeah,
pulling you
yeah.
apart.
So
Dude, I don't know. The 3v3v3 mode is awesome. The new guns are awesome. The zero dam expansion is awesome. The shield operator is scary. Like it just sounds terrible on paper, man. The other thing that they are probably going to be adding, much to Buff's excitement, is dolphin diving. So they're testing dolphin diving on the mobile version. You guys can see an option of it here. It actually doesn't look terrible. It was in MW2 2022 Roman numeral 2, and I didn't hate it because it looks like the bloom goes away on the crosshair, so you probably can't shoot while you're doing it, and it looks like a means to escape. So while I am making fun of it because of our apprehension of omni movement, it doesn't look that bad. Like, but
it's just another way for someone to like take advantage of movement. I hope there's like a big penalty for using it, in terms of like it takes a couple more seconds for you to get up instead of just going from prone to standing. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I will say ABI is looking a lot better in terms of an extraction game mode right now. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
right.
So even in terms of a warfare mode, it's like
and I'm
that's the thing. It's like a lot of this stuff doesn't really affect the warfare mode as much as the extraction mode, like you said earlier.
well,
So it's
I'll
like,
get to that.
damn it, dude.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you one
me
that's
some, yeah.
absolutely going to destroy the warfare mode.
Yay.
The thermal grenades that are coming can see through
Thermal?
smoke. So they're in
What?
already in the warfare mode is smoke spam galore everywhere. And now there's
Oh,
a site
dude.
where you can see through smoke.
This is like pre-patched Battlefield 4 right there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're
Ah.
both owned by Tencent, different studios.
Different developer studios, but they listen up to their investors for sure.
Yeah,
even
different
more
studio,
so than
but
any other
they're
company.
both 10-cent studios, but they're different studios.
Yeah, different. It's probably you cross the hallway in the same office building. You're in Delta Force, so it
might be. But man,
it's a shared
this
space.
makes me want Arena Breakout to succeed even more. And I'm not scared. Like video game, but like I'm
Anxious,
nervous. I'm
anxious.
nervous for Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, anxious or nervous for Arena Breakout Infinite because it seems like there's a lot more people interested in Delta Force, probably because they said all the right stuff before launch about no pay to win. We're taking anti-cheat seriously.
Right.
Like they said all that stuff we wanted to hear at launch, and that is true. I just don't get excited about these kind of mechanics. They feel casual, so Timmy No Thumbs can get a kill every once in a while, and they ruin the competitive
Timmy
integrity of the game, in
knows.
my opinion. But I just feel like Delta Force has it's I'm anxious because I'm liking Arena Breakout so much more, but Delta Force has way more momentum behind it right now. It has more people playing it. It has more excitement around it. They're faster with updates. Consoles already coming in Q1. Controller support's coming in Q1. Arena Breakout is getting none of that love, none of that excitement, and stuff confirmed to be coming soon. But I'm liking it more. So I'm like in the minority over here with
Yeah.
my game hoping it survives, while the game I'm not enjoying as much is just like to the moon. That's that's what I'm trying to say. It's like I'm a little bummed about it, but
Hmm.
so does that make sense? Because I feel like there's so much momentum
It
behind
makes
Delta
sense. It
Force
makes
right
sense.
now. It's kind of crazy. Um, Buff, did you have to bounce?
No,
If
let's
you
keep
did,
going. All right.
okay. I think that's all the leaks. We don't have to get into them crazy because next week's episode we'll get into this more. So next week's episode we'll get into the Delta Force stuff officially. We'll react to the official stream that's happening on Friday.
Only if you
Next
live in
week's show.
Florida, though. By the way, you got to live in
For our
Florida.
Florida viewers. Blue's
Yeah.
gonna handle it because everything's happening where he's at. So
Hell yeah. Come on down. Actually, don't. We're
why
running
did
out
I
of
say
space,
Florida?
please.
I don't know why I
I
said
don't know.
Florida.
The housing market is insane
Yo,
here. Please don't.
everyone laugh at me or who's laughing at me, you're gonna get old too. So there you go.
Then you moved to Florida, right? Is that
I
how it
got
works?
called. By the way, real quick, I
On
got
my
called
way.
Unk. By the way, just saying.
You got
They
called
called
a
me Unk.
punk?
Unk. I don't
And
know if
maybe I
Punk.
do
have you ever
belong
heard.
over there.
Punk. Okay. Interesting.
They were
Haven't
like,
heard that one before.
"What up, Unk?" I was like, "Damn," you know.
Jeez.
Just know you're older than Halo 1. Just saying. Okay, you're welcome. You're older than Halo Combat Evolved. Just
I'll
saying.
say that I was around before the internet. That's what's crazy.
You were
Same.
older than Google,
Samesies.
anyways.
Same.
Yeah. So all right, we got to talk about what's up with Arma Reforger real quick. We don't
Arma Reforger.
take it away, Blue.
Take it away. It's coming back. I'm just kidding. It's not even come back. Oh, I mean, kind of, because it
Kinda.
definitely had like a lull for a while, and it definitely didn't release a like great critical acclaim. Everyone just thought it was like a basic tech demo almost. Of course, I feel like the mods have really hyped that up as well too. Like
Yeah.
it has beaten its all-time peak 2 days in a row. I don't think it's gonna beat it today, but for Saturday and Sunday, originally the all-time peak when it released was around 12,342 when it back in 2022, and it dipped down to its like lowest player count of like 100 players, like between, let's see, between the May in 2022 and November 2023, it barely hit 500 players.
Wow.
And now we're looking at an all-time player peak in just from Sunday of 12,547 players.
That's just Steam,
Jeez.
right?
That's just Steam. Yeah, not including Xbox and now PlayStation 5
Yeah, now PlayStation.
as well.
Yeah.
So sadly, PlayStation 5, Sony guys, sorry for you. You don't have access to mods yet, which is like the best part of Reforger. No word on that. But then you also have an experimental branch of the game that's, being tested, and that includes the new mortar support option. It includes tree and building destruction. The building destruction is very simple, by the way, too. It's not like you shoot a wall, a whole chunk of it blows out. It's more like you keep shooting the same building and then it'll just crumble. And then here's a model of like a destroyed building kind of thing. So it's very basic because it has to be, I feel like, in terms of just like optimization and performance, especially when you start adding mods into the mix. But the fact that you have a bunch of other content creators making videos of Arma Reforger, you have everyone from what was it, Westy to Jack Frags to
Yeah.
Frankie and 1080 PC to oh my god, Tactical Brit, Like all those guys are just absolutely loving. And so they, of course, they put eyes on the game with their audience, just brings more
Mhm.
players, and it's just like a compounding effect. So, and this is also before this, we now know Armor 4 will be released in 2027. So we have
Thank God we
uh,
know that, man.
two
Whew.
2.5 years. Yeah, 2027.
Almost
Arena Warfare
there.
2 will
Almost
finally
there.
be early access. Or 1.0 technically, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so we'll see what happens in the future for Armor Forger. I will say the mod support for the game just keeps growing. I have a feeling it'll just be like once 2027 comes around, you'll just see your Steam library and it'll be from like it'll say Armor Forger and it just turn to Armor 4. Like in all honesty, like this is Armor 4, just a test bed. So yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. I mean, again, like on the experimental branch, there's a couple things of just like again, like the trees, freaking exploding, the buildings and stuff like that. So they added a couple of the gunships as well too. To like this is like the base game. So they added like the Huey gunship, the MI8 gunship, um, and really just a bunch of like things that were already mods. So like they added in the experimental branch backblast damage, but there's already the Ace backblast mod for a forger. So it's like people already knew what that was. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's also single player stuff as well too. There's more for experimental branch. There's more conflict variants of Western Everon and Montagnac. It's Montignac. It's a really weird sounding name. But yeah, I mean, it's also like the game master, which is like your Zeus can place mines, send mortars. Like you could be in a crazy immersive experience. So I mean, that's really what it is. It's more of like a sandbox, but then you also have specific game modes that are like really equivalent to squad and stuff like that. So yeah, there's just a lot more coming to the game, a lot more modding support still, and fixes and patch notes and all that stuff. So I think I don't know if it's gonna beat its 12,000 player count. I think this is kind of like the most we'll see, because even just today, it hasn't. When you can tell on like Steam DB charts, like you can see like the peak going up and it kind of went back down again, and it's only like 10,000 players playing today. So there's already 2,000 less
Mm,
players since, but it was also the weekend as well too.
true.
So you know, uh,
I got to jump in
yeah,
this with some mods on PC. I was
yeah.
watching some of your
I've
stuff and
been
others. Looks awesome.
Yeah, I got a video coming out tomorrow, but I've been playing a lot with some of the homies. Shout out fan in chat as well too. He kind of was the one that kind of like kicked me in the ass. I'm like, all right, let's play. So, and I'm glad I did, because like I checked out the WCS servers, the what's it called again? The worst case scenario, and that's hosted by if you guys know the Twitch streamer Clean and his
Hmm.
team. So he's got his servers, and they finally added a player queue as well too, because before, when it was 128 servers, you just had to keep spamming and hope you got in. But now they added a server queue, but it's only up to 50 players. So it's kind of like those all get maxed out. I'm pretty sure if I try to get on right now, they'll all be maxed out to 50 players, and you just have to hope someone leaves.
Damn.
So, and then you're sitting there waiting. So, and they even added, there's 6 specifically for WCS. They're all PvP servers. There's 6. They added 2 more, maybe 2 more servers from what I've seen last time, and they're already full. So it's like
Oh wow.
it's getting more and more popular, and I think people are just it was funny seeing PlayStation players finally get their hands on a game too, and we hopped on the official server. So you have, because it's not really a game that relies also on aim assist as well too.
Right.
In fact, I don't even know if there's even aim assist. Someone might correct me later down. You send all your complaints again to said
The
email.
Scope
But
Podcast complaint department at gmail.com.
so yeah, I mean, like if I really highly doubt Sony will allow modding on their platform. It's very low chance. But if they do, that'll just increase the servers for modded servers. I mean, because there's nothing else like this on console. Again, another game
Right.
that when it released to console, they just flocked to it because there's nothing else like it.
That makes me,
Um,
man, so hopeful for Arena Breakout and Delta Force. Like if
yeah,
Arena Breakout can
dude.
get to console, man, like it's gonna pop, dude.
Huge.
Like
You know it's going to though.
Exactly.
It's on mobile already. Like
Exactly.
it's going to. There's no reason. But yeah, this looks awesome. I haven't even jumped in and tried it on PlayStation yet. It looks awesome. Like the PlayStation trailer looks really good. I know a couple of my buddies played it and they I didn't get feedback yet, but I'm, as you guys know, I'm more interested in the modern setting, even though
The
this is
big
near
question.
modern.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll try that in the mod.
What's your question?
can an S&D mode be built in Arma Reforger?
Technically, yes. I don't know. It could be one life mode, really, but you can also keep the because they have King of the Hill, they have Capture the Flag, they have their like conquest conflict mode. Yeah, I mean, really, it's more just someone needs to do it as a mod,
All right,
which
Crash, go.
get on it,
I can't
someone
do it,
could do
man.
it. Yeah,
This hard
there's
drive is
already
full,
like
man.
extraction game modes in Armor Reforger as well too. You go in, you have your little like hub, you go out, you get loot, you come back. So they, you have that. You die out there, you lose all your stuff. So I think
Yep,
there's even extraction servers that have like storage, which is kind of crazy.
that's
So and
cool.
currency built into the mod as well too, so you could buy stuff.
Whoa,
And
what?
it's not like, and I think it's from what I saw, you can go around to the traders, see other people, and you're walking around. It's like a hub, so you walk around to the traders and you like,
Oh,
let's
that's
buy this kind
Man,
of thing. So,
that's
and
I
you
want
can
to
talk
build an
shit to
S&D
players in
mode.
game.
That's insane. I want to build an S&D mode, but I'm too dumb.
I'm sure you know what, just even myself, I was trying to host the server specifically. There's a new mod that I try to get a bunch of my boys to play with, and it's another beast. Even like veteran modders from the Armor 3 community said Armor Forgers like setting that up can be kind of stressful. So
jeez.
Dang.
yeah, it's again, they're getting it more and more, I would say, like dummy proof, but I was trying to figure it out. I was spending money on dedicated servers trying to figure it out. I was like, I can't figure it out. So I'll hire somebody at this point. But
That doesn't feel good to me, or it sound good for
give it
my.
to 2027, you'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I
yeah,
guess so.
yeah, it's just I really think you guys should try it out whenever you guys are
Yeah, I
ever
will.
bored of ABI. Probably
I need
not,
to.
but
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out when I get a chance. I think I know when I get in and actually play it with some people, I'll just be hooked, and then I'll only be playing. I'm
that's
ready
another
for
thing,
it. How it's
dude.
gonna
I
go.
was playing it till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, man. I was just like, because especially with the server queues, I'm just like, if I'm in the server, I'm putting my time in.
Right, right.
So yeah, and also again, hearing on the official servers, like when in one of the clips we were playing, you have PlayStation guys like PlayStation rules, just yelling at each other, Xbox versus PlayStation on the same team, by the way. So it was funny, but
That's funny. All right, then. Is that a show?
I think that's a show, dude.
That's awesome, dude. We got through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that was
Holy,
a good one. That was a good one.
that
Yeah,
was sweet,
yeah, man. Woo!
man. From Fortnite to Arma and everything in between, baby. The Scope Podcast. So no, that was a good show. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you all you guys for listening and watching around the world, especially Florida, where all the Delta Force stuff goes down.
Let's go.
So you guys have a great week. If you get a chance, be a friend, tell a friend, bring someone back with you next week. Share the podcast if you don't mind. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Helps a bunch. You guys take care. Godspeed, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Peace.
Later, guys.